College Success Arizona presents Student Stories. The feature of the following story and interview is Maria Aquino.
I was born in the Philippines, actually, in San Ildefonso, so it's 2 hours from the capital, which is Manila, and so it was almost like a countryside town, and I grew up there, and I was raised there until I was 13 years old, and then my family moved to Williams in Arizona.
You're born and raised in the Philippines. When you're 13 years old, your family moves to Williams, Arizona.
Yes.
What brought your family from the Philippines to Williams, Arizona?
Just like a lot of other immigrant stories, my mom wanted a better life for my brothers, and I have 4 brothers and myself, so there's 5 of us, and she was single-handedly raising us in the Philippines, and so she wanted a better life for us. And we have family. My grandparents are already in the United States, and we have my aunt and my uncles here too. So we just wanted to be close to family, and she just wanted a better future for us.
Did you speak English when you came to the U.S.?
I did, but I had a really thick accent, which was a bit of a hindrance as far as, my social life in school when I started here. No one could really understand me, and especially in a small town such as Williams. It was very hard to make friends because everyone already had their own groups, and here I am, someone from another country just coming in, and everything was a big culture shock. But I read a lot, and through observation, I learned to pick up English better, and I started to lose my accent a bit.
Did they teach you English in school in the Philippines?
Yes, they do. So it's part of our curriculum there.
So the transition wasn't obviously as difficult as if you didn't speak any English at all or read it.
Oh, no.
And talk about the difference, because it's not like you were a little child, 3 or 4 years old, where your memories are distant and faint. At 13, you have a pretty good grasp on, most 13-year-olds have a pretty good grasp on what's going on in life. What was life like in that transition going from the Philippines to Williams?
It was very hard. We had to assimilate into a new culture. Also, we had to reestablish our lives pretty much from the ground up, moving here, coming here, with barely anything. And I think our first couple of years here in the United States were pretty much comparable to our lives in the Philippines, as far as we struggled a lot financially to make ends meet. We had to look for jobs, and processing our immigration papers, that took a long time. So I remember it as being a real challenge, but I think what I've gotten from that experience is resiliency. So that experience taught me to be resilient.
And where did you graduate high school?
I graduated from Williams High School.
And how old are you currently?
I am 22 years old.
And I understand you recently graduated from college. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I did. I attended the University of Arizona, and I graduated this May with a Bachelor of Science degree in Public Health.
And what do you hope to do as a career?
As a career, as I finished my last semester in my major, I really became interested in global health, and after to enrich my college experience, I joined the Global Medical Brigade, where I traveled for volunteer work during spring break in Panama. And so after that, I became very interested in global health. So I'm hoping to pursue a master's in global health, and either that or I want to become a public health nurse. So I want to combine those 2 disciplines together.
And what could you do in that sense? Like, would you work for the United Nations or something like that? World Health Organization, WHO?
Yes, so something like that. And also I could be involved in programs with, let's say, the health ministry or the Department of Health in other countries. I could work with them and just to help them implement prevention programs such as that, like in policy, health promotion. So I can really go far with this because it's a very broad field.
And where are you planning on studying for your master's degree?
Well, right now I'm going to be continuing on New York University in the fall. I'm actually going to be doing an accelerated nursing program Oh, and then after that, I've been looking into programs that have dual degrees and a master's of public health and also a master's in nursing, where you can become a nurse practitioner while also getting your master's in public health.
So you're looking at least 2 to 4 more years of school. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And why the East Coast? Why New York University?
I participated in the National Student Exchange Program my junior year at the University of Arizona. I really wanted to study abroad, but I was really worried about the financial burden of, the financial cost of going abroad. So I learned about this program through my advisor, and she informed me that if I were to do this, all my scholarships would still transfer because it will still go through the University of Arizona. So I decided to do that, and actually I was planning on just doing my exchange in California to be closer to family. But someone, advised me, why would you settle? You're doing this to step out of your comfort zone. So why would you settle? You've been to California so many times. Why don't you, take the leap and go somewhere to experience a new lifestyle, a new culture? So I decided to go to New York. And it's actually, I went to school in New Jersey there, but I held an internship in New York. So I divided my time between the two states a lot. So.
And NYU's School of Nursing, where you will be going in the fall, that's in New York City?
Yes, it's in Manhattan.
That's a pricey place to live, huh?
Yes, but luckily I have family out there, so that was one thing that was an exciting factor too, because I could just live with them and that would save me money.
Well, and when you talk about stepping out of your comfort zone, so you moved to a small town in Arizona, Williams, in the southeastern part of the state, I guess. Is that the southeastern part of the state?
No, that's actually the northern part.
I was thinking of Benson. You know what? I knew I shouldn't. I should have asked you rather than present it as a comment. I was thinking, no, it's Benson. So Williams is in the northern part of the state. So you go from the Philippines to Williams to Tucson to New York City. You just seem like you really, and that sounds like you're kind of on the path to maybe being global. And you've been to Panama, so it seems like you have a real, like an itch to travel, to see the world. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, I do. I would like to combine, if I could, career and, getting to travel as well.
What have been the biggest challenges so far in your college career?
In my college career, wow, that's just waking up in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. I think that the biggest challenge would have been, I think for me, it was trying to not be not to fall into apathy most of the time, to get too comfortable. Because when you're surrounded, let's say when you're surrounded by a university setting, you're in academia, it's easy to get comfortable sometimes, especially after a couple years of being in college and you've settled. It's easy to fall into a routine. So I think that was the biggest challenge for me, was to actively seek out more opportunities, push myself to do a little bit more, to accomplish a little bit more, to polish up my skills and my experiences.
And what do you say to young people, middle and high school students in Williams and other places who are looking, to pursue their own college dreams and career goals?
I think that, I know they probably hear this a lot already, but really time management, and also don't get too focused on what's happening now and always trying to think about the bigger picture, because the decisions that you make now will really have an impact on your life in coming years, such as when you go to college. So I think what I could say to them is, get involved in as much as you can, find out what you really want to do, because it really saves you a lot of anxiety and time, once you get to college and you're kind of stuck in a rut, and because sometimes it's you don't know, and that will also hone your skills so you can easily get settled.
College Success Arizona provided a scholarship to you which pays up to $6,000 per year for educational expenses. Talk about how that helped you to limit or avoid student debt.
Yes, College Success Arizona has been a very, very helpful and big part of my college career. I still remember It was the day of prom my senior year, and when I received, the letter saying that I'd been accepted into the program and I've received a scholarship, it was just a weight it felt like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And I think that $6,000 a year may not sound a lot compared to how much the cost of tuition and cost of expenses, when you compare them side to side. But it goes above and beyond. If you really learn how to stretch every dollar, it really is a big help, and it's really helped me avoid student loans for the first at least 3 years of my college career. So that's a big ease as far as paying off. I won't have to be paying off loans, for the next 25 years of my life.
And Matthew Sotelo, your success advisor, basically works with you as sort of a mentor throughout your college experience. Can you talk about working with Matt?
Oh, Matt is a great advisor. He's almost like a big brother, I feel like, to a lot of his students, because when he talks to you, when you meet with him, he really makes you comfortable, and he talks to you about, what you have been up to, what you've accomplished so far throughout your college career, and he just talks to you like a one-on-one, like a friend, and, he gives you some really great advice on what other steps you can do, and he tries to point you out to resources. So he's been a really great advisor, and sometimes it's nice to, have someone to vent to, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Do you think this is it? Just to hear a second opinion. And Matt's done a great job with that.
Thank you, Marie, for the interview and for working so hard to make a difference in our community.